Hey guys, and welcome back to another video on the channel. In today's video we're going to be taking a look at question 7 from 2020's paper 1 test from the QCAA syllabus for math methods. So as you'll know, I've been actually splitting up all the questions into individual videos. That way if you only struggle with a couple questions or only certain questions, you can go straight to that video there. Okay. Now, the full exam is still up on YouTube. The link is in the description below. I've also made a custom external exam for math methods that's also in the link in the description below. So if you check that out, if you need an extra resource, by all means check it out. But otherwise, let's just get straight into this question here. So question 7 here, multiple choice, and this one is tech free. Okay. So question 7, the life expectancy in years of electronic component can be represented by the probability density function. Okay. Here you can see P of x equals 1 over x, and it only accepts values greater or equal to 1, and 0 everywhere else, okay? The probability that a component lasts between 1 and 10 years is, okay? So, I think this is a pretty simple question, however the wording can be a bit funny, okay? So, x is years, first of all. I know that's funny because they've usually put t. Now here, what they're basically saying is the probability of it being in a certain time frame is the area under this curve, okay? So if we're trying to work out, in this case here, between 1 and 10 years, you need to find the area under this curve between 1 and 10. The reason why we know this, well, to start off with, we know it's going to look, well, I'd say something like this here, depending on its curve. However, it can only be between greater or equal to 1. So as a rough sketch, it would probably look like this. So this area would be equal to 1, which represents a whole, okay? We're after the probability between 1 and 10 years. So we're after between here and probably about there. So that area under that curve, okay? And it would be 0 everywhere else. So as you can see here, because they've said 0 otherwise, everywhere else on the function would be equal to 0. So to find this area, you need to set up an integral. So the lower bound would be the 1 and the upper bound would be the 10. So 1 to 10 of 1 over x squared dx. Okay. Easier said than done setting that up. A lot of people don't even set that guy up. Hopefully you can see why we've set that up. If you're not sure, you'll probably need to study probability density functions a bit further detail. Now before we integrate this, we're going to change how this guy looks, because this would be quite hard to integrate. We're going to put that as a negative power. So because it's 1 over x squared, we can move that term up there. So 1 times by x to the negative 2. However, all I've done is just change the positive to a negative because it's above the fraction now, okay? So here, this would be a lot easier to integrate because then you can add 1 to the power and divide by the new power because it's written in this format here, okay? Again, I know a lot of people would do that. They'd skip over that and go try straight into it, which is fine if you know what you're doing, but if you don't, do this, okay? So, now we've got that there. Let's move that up there, if it works. There we go. So if we're integrating this, so the integral from 1 to 10, x and negative 2. So you're going to add 1 to the power. So here it'll be x to the power of negative 2 plus 1 over negative 2 plus 1. And then you don't need a plus c because there are bounds involved, okay? Now let's simplify this before we chuck in the bounds. So negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1, so x to the negative 1 over negative 1. Which we can then rewrite as a pretty much a positive index by moving this guy back down to the bottom as negative 1 over x. And you have 1 and 10. Now, do not get this confused. I did not swap these guys around. All I did was move this guy down to the bottom. Where I got the negative 1 on top, because I've got this. 1 over negative 1. 1 over negative 1 is negative 1. That's where this guy appeared from. I did not flip the entire fraction upside down, even though it might appear like that appeared in my writing. Okay? Alright. Again, if you have any questions about what we've done so far there, leave something in the comments and I'll try my best to answer it. Right, now I'm going to rub out this working because I'm going to run out of room otherwise, okay? So if you need any of that working, just rewind the video and yeah, you should be all good with that. So here. Now all my videos are done in one take here. That way you can realistically see how long it'd probably take you. Now, to be honest, this would probably take a bit longer because I'm explaining each step. Hopefully you'd be doing it a bit faster than me. Now we've got to chuck in our bounds. So the first one we chuck in is 10. So it's going to be negative 1 over 10. Then subtract the lower bound. So negative 1 over 1. So this turns into negative 1 over 10. Now this turns into a positive because a negative times a negative is positive. So it's going to be plus 1. So 1 minus 1 over 10. Let's try and work that out. 1 is the same as 10 over 10. So when we're thinking about 1 minus 1 over 10, that's the same as 10 over 10 minus 1 over 10. Because they have a common denominator, you just subtract the tops, so you get 9 over 10. Now 9 over 10 as a decimal is 0.9. So all we do is look for that in the answers here. So C is your correct answer. And that's how you do question 7. If you are unsure about this one, you need to study probability density functions a bit further. If you need the full exam, link is in the description below, like the whole video for it. If you need a new practice external exam that isn't on QCAA, I've made a custom one. The link is also in the description below, so check that out if you need. But otherwise, I will see you in the next video for question 8.